Hello guys, welcome to a new video of the first World Chess Championship of 1886. It's Wilhelm Steinitz against Johannes Zukertort, and today we're looking at game number 11. So in this game we see Zukertort sacrificing his bishop, going for a quick checkmate, but will he actually find it? Let's find out. Steinitz has the black pieces and Zukertort starts with e4. e5, knight f3, knight c6, and we have seen the Spanish a lot in this matchup, so Zukertort tries something else with knight c3, knight f6, and bishop b5, the Spanish variation of the 4 knights game. So now bishop b4, very symmetrical, castles, castles. And here Zukertort tries to create some imbalances with knight to d5, knight takes pawn takes, having doubled pawns now, and e4 by Steinitz. Now pawn takes knight, queen takes f3, and after d takes c6, the bishop drops back to d3, and bishop to d6. And now we have some imbalances in the position. Double pawns on the c file. And here we have a weak pawn on d2 and the dark squared bishop is a bit trapped here. So b3 by Zukertort. Here queen g5, since if you develop the bishop, we can actually win this pawn. But if you try to save it first, that would be a huge mistake, since we have queen e5 attacking the rook and also threatening winning the h2 pawn. So that's why here we see bishop b2, and Steinitz just takes the pawn, and he's up a pawn. And here an interesting move, bishop c1 back attacking the queen. Well, it can go to b4 or a5, queen goes to a5, and now queen to f4. So Steinitz is just up a pawn here. Now bishop e6, rook goes to e1, and it looks like a free pawn on a2. But that's actually a poisoned pawn, since if you take it, white has a really nice move. Only move to justify this bad move. I would say try to pause the video here and find the only move for white. So in this position we would have bishop d2 back. And the purpose is to make sure that we control a lot of squares in which the queen cannot escape. So only a3 and b2. For example, a3, then we have b4. And after bishop takes, we have queen e4 threatening checkmate. And we also attack the bishop twice. And you cannot play queen b2 either, because then we have bishop c3. It looks like a free bishop, but if you take it, we have bishop takes h7 check, king takes, and you lose your queen. So that's why you cannot take the a2 pawn. Here we have rook f to e8 and rook to e3, slowly bringing all the pieces to the king side here. Now bishop to d5, but that allows bishop takes h7, sacrificing the bishop. Here Steinitz does take the bishop and he's up a full piece. Queen goes to h5 check, which is possible now since the bishop is blocking the path of the queen. King goes back to g8 and rook to h3. So what now for black? Either king to f8 or f6 here. Steinitz finds f6. And here actually, since Zukertort sacrificed his bishop, he tries to find a quick checkmate. But perhaps the best move would be just take the bishop and after pawn takes, play c4 and win back your piece. Since the bishop is pinned here, if you move the way you're losing the queen. But in this position, we see Zukertort playing queen to h7 check. But that's a bad move. Simply king to f7. And here we see the position repeating 11 times. Since probably during that time there was no draw by repetition. And Zukertort probably can't find the checkmate. So he just repeats the moves. King to or queen to h8. And maybe you can even bring back the bishop here. And then the queen is a bit useless. But still we see the position repeating. And finally after king goes to e7 escaping, we see rook e3 check. King goes back to f8 and after queen to h8 check, the bishop drops back to g8. Now bishop h6, still threatening checkmate here. Rook goes to e7. Now rook takes, king takes. Now bishop takes g7, since, okay, you can take with the queen, but simply defending with the bishop. And when we take with the bishop, we still keep the pressure on this pawn, but simply queen to f5, defending the pawn. So what now? Well, rook e1 check maybe, bring the last piece, king goes to f7, and bishop drops back to h6, threatening checkmate. But we can easily defend it with queen to h7. And now you have to give away your queen. We see queen takes, bishop takes, and at the end, white has only 2 pieces and black is up with 3 pieces, and this is just a lost position for Zukertort. He tries to play on with something like c4, a5, bishop to e3, and c5, rook to d1, but now a4 comes, we will break open this pawn chain, we have 3 pieces and we will slowly checkmate you, so Zukertort resigned the game. And this is the first time Steinitz is actually up in the match with 5-4, and let's see how the match will continue in the remaining games. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe or comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.